Good morning. All right, Amazon. Give us flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Stocks opened mixed this morning as the Commerce Department reported the U.S. economy grew at a healthy clip in the final months of 2022. NPR's Scott Horsley reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell nearly 60 points in early trading.
The U.S. economy grew at an annual pace of 2.9% in October, November, and December. That's down only slightly from the previous quarter and a marked improvement from the first half of last year, when GDP actually shrank. Consumer spending continued to increase in the final months of 2022, though at a slower pace than the late summer and fall. Analysts think consumers are growing more cautious in their spending as a result of both higher prices and higher borrowing costs. The Federal Reserve has been deliberately raising interest rates in an effort to fight inflation. Higher mortgage rates have put a big dent in the housing market. Housing was a net drag on GDP during the final months of last year. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
The White House says President Biden will give a major speech about the U.S. economy today. The GDP report may come up. Biden is working to highlight his own policies on the economy compared to Republicans, who hold the majority in the House. He's supposed to meet with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy soon about the debt ceiling. The federal government cannot borrow any more money to pay the bills it has already incurred. Republicans say before they'll raise the debt limit, they want steep cuts.
Raise the debt limit?
Advisors to the Food and Drug Administration are meeting today. NPR's Rob Stein reports they'll consider a major shift in the approach to how people are vaccinated in the U.S. against COVID-19.
The FDA is considering significantly simplifying vaccinations against COVID. Right now, people get 2 shots of the original vaccine weeks apart, followed at least 2 months later by at least 1 booster with the new bivalent Omicron boosters. Under the new approach, everyone would just get 1 vaccine formulation.
There's different compartments
this
of
would
the
be
immune
updated
system.
once a year
The
to target
muconal,
whatever
the
strain
sinuses
is most
and all
likely
that.
to be circulating
And then the other
each
part
winter.
that is in the
The
blood,
approach is modeled
and
on how the annual flu
the
shots
inner
are given
workings.
each year. The COVID
And so the
vaccine
shot
could be
is
updated
treating
more
those
often
inner,
if a more dangerous new
the inner
variant
system,
emerges.
when the muconal is the
Rob
one that's supposed to
Stein,
advise it,
NPR
hey,
News.
produce
North
antibodies.
Korea's capital is under a
Well,
5-day
you're skipping that
lockdown
for
to
a
fight the
shot, and you
spread
get
of
boosters
an
and boosters and
unspecified
boosters because
respiratory
the body's
disease.
not telling you to
From
produce
Seoul,
the
NPR's
antibodies
Anthony
because the
Kuhn
muconal
says
system
Pyongyang
didn't tell
has
it
made
to.
no mention of COVID.
The Russian embassy in Pyongyang
That's
posted
my
on its
theory.
Facebook page a notice from authorities. It says the lockdown will last from Wednesday to Sunday. Residents are advised to stay at home and take and report their
So the healthy
temperatures
people,
4
my
times
theory
a
is
day.
healthy people should be getting
North
those
Korea admitted
nasal
its
shots,
first COVID
you know,
outbreak last
suck it up
May.
in the muconal, a
It
little
claimed
bit of
victory
infection,
over the disease
so
by
you don't get a
August,
bad
but
infection.
experts remain
And it tells the
skeptical
body to
of that
produce
claim.
antibodies.
NPR's
And
Anthony
the
Kuhn
people who
reporting.
got a slow
On Wall
immune
Street, the
system,
Dow
they
is
can't
now
produce
down
antibodies
36
fast enough to need
points.
the
The
shots.
Nasdaq is up more than 100 points. This is NPR. Russia is continuing its missile attacks on Ukraine. Russian forces also fired self-destructing drones at Ukrainian sites. Ukrainian officials say at least 11 people have been killed. The attacks come a day after the U.S. and Germany announced they will ship heavy battle tanks to Ukraine to help it defend itself. The U.S. has a new ambassador in Russia, and as NPR's Charles Maines reports from Moscow, she faces plenty of challenges.
Lynn Tracy is no stranger to Moscow. A career diplomat, she served for 3 years as deputy chief of mission to Russia beginning in 2014. However, she returns as ambassador at a time when relations between Washington and Moscow have cratered to new lows over the war in Ukraine. Those tensions further exacerbated over President Biden's announcement this week that the U.S. will provide American-made Abrams tanks to Kiev. Tracy also picks up the mantle of U.S. efforts to free several Americans currently held in Russian prisons, a key focus of her predecessor, John Sullivan. Another challenge, simply keeping the embassy running. A years-long dispute with Russia over staffing numbers that have limited both sides' diplomatic presence. Charles Maines, NPR News, Moscow.
The State Department says Secretary of State Antony Blinken will travel to the Middle East this weekend. He'll see leaders in Israel, the West Bank, and Egypt. One topic will be Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Another will be tension between Palestinians and Israelis over deadly arrest raids. Today, Israeli troops killed at least 9 Palestinians in the West Bank refugee camp. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News,
and gave
from
to them
Washington.
without our permission.
Activists have been working to restrict access to certain types of books in schools. I'm Andrew Limbaum, host of NPR's Book of the Day podcast, and we spent a week talking to authors of banned books to get their take on being subject to a political maelstrom. Listen to the Book of the Day podcast from NPR.
In NASA news, NASA has selected 6 companies to provide early-stage innovations and partnership support services. The services will be provided across multiple NASA centers. The place of performance will be specified in each specific call, with much of the work being performed virtually. NASA and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, announced Tuesday a collaboration to demonstrate a nuclear thermal rocket engine in space and enabling capability for NASA crewed missions to Mars. NASA announced Thursday its new Mars Sample Receiving Project Office, responsible for receiving and curating the first samples returned from the Red Planet, will be located at the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston. The safe and rapid release of Mars samples after they return to Earth to laboratories worldwide for science investigations will. Students from the Boys and Girls Club of the Flathead Reservation in Lake County in Ronan, Montana, will have an opportunity this week to hear from a NASA astronaut aboard the International Space Station. The Space to Earth call will air live at 12 p.m. EST on Wednesday, January 25th on NASA Television, the NASA app, and the agency's website.
NASA Television. I didn't know there
the
was
agency
NASA
will honor
television
members of the NASA family who lost their lives while furthering the cause of exploration and discovery, including the crews of Apollo 1 and Space Shuttle's Challenger and Columbia, leading up to and during the agency's annual Day of Remembrance Thursday, January 26th. This year's NASA Day of Remembrance precedes the 20th Anniversary. In weather. Right now in Seattle, it's 39 degrees Fahrenheit with showers. Today's forecast has lots of clouds, with a high of 45 degrees and a low of 42 degrees. From NASA. NASA has selected 6 companies to provide early-stage innovations and partnership support services.
Amazon.
The services
Off. You may go off.
provided across
Amazon.
multiple NASA centers.
Off. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
Why did the golfers get kicked out of the library? Their pants were way too loud.
Oh, well, okay. If you say so, but why did the golfers have loud pants? Okay, have a wonderful day. You know what? I'm going to find that redacted video. I'll put it down in the description just so people can watch how corrupt it is in Ukraine with our tax money.